I didn't really know it was happening when it was happening. It was just one of those rounds where I kind of was feeling better than yesterday and just wasn't worried about bogeying holes, just like trying to get the next hole, next shot.
Great vibes. The level of play in the field is, I'm glad to see everyone finally like get it together, and we're actually like, people want to watch us and stuff, so I'm glad we're going forward in that.
No, it's kind of a funny thing. Like, I don't know what's different. I'm just still trying my best. I've been trying my best this whole time, and yeah, it's just clicking right now. I'm not going to really try to think too much about it and just keep flowing.
Somehow last year I just played very well, but doesn't mean like this year I can play well. You never know. That's why it's fun about this golf.
Hello and welcome to round 3. We're on moving day of the 2024 Portland Open presented by Latitude 64. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hot geeks.
Honk.
Honk indeed. It is moving day. It's Saturday, cut day. We are finally on the East course. I think the course that most FPO prefer based on very few opinions that I've polled.
But they're important opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with who we're going to watch today. Sofia Donnecke, 93% fairway hits, 69% circle 2 in regulation, 83% circle 1X putting. She played a spicy hot round yesterday coming from Canada, new to the tour, looking like she's been here forever.
So spicy. Owns Scoggins, 84% fairway hits, 61% circle 2 in regulation, and 91% C1X putting. Just because she played well last year and has all the course records doesn't mean she is going to keep doing it. But here she is.
But she keeps doing it. Paige Pierce, she's back, 86% fairway hits, 69% circle 2 in regulation, 85% circle 1X putting, looking super solid out there. Nice to see her back on a lead card.
And rounding out the card is Mertsch, 91% fairway hits, landing in circle 2 in regulation 83% of the time and 76% C1X putting. Largely the same card we saw yesterday with the addition of Sofia. Should be a fun round.
Let's start with hole 1. It's 590 feet, but it is very treacherous. There's out of bounds everywhere. Most players going to go a forehand or a turnover shot trying to avoid this bunker, but just getting safely over the green. You're worried about going OB deep here. Your second shot, ideally you're safe and you're throwing a distance driver to the pin and it's no big deal. But a lot of players going to have to make decisions here of whether they want to go all the way for this elevated basket surrounded by OB or if they want to just chip up.
For the third round of the FPO division, here with the lead card. Make some noise! On first to tee, your co-leader out of Victoria, British Columbia, winner of the 2024 Pioneer Open here in Oregon, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs. Give it up to Sofia Donnecke!
Sofia's 935 rated. OTB 2 weeks ago was her first DGPT oh my gosh, what's the letters? Her first Disc Golf Pro Tour event. It's so cool to see her on lead card.
Yeah, worthwhile of the long intro and a little course love as well.
A little nervy.
Up next to tee, this year's DGPT Open at Austin champion, 2023 Pro Masters Disc Golf World Champion, and the 2022 and 2023 U.S. Masters Disc Golf Champion. Put your hands together for the Innova-sponsored Own Scoggins!
This guy's definitely going to be losing his voice after the weekend because he is killing it.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff.
And also worthwhile of the very long list of accolades.
Own tied for first right now with Sofia. Has the record at this course. Got the record back-to-back rounds last year. Great forehand to start.
Next to tee out of Pensacola, Florida, your 2023 DGPT Open champion and 2023 DGPT Open at Austin champion and 5-time world champion, sponsored by Discraft. Put your hands together for Paige Pierce!
I think our 30 seconds is up with that one.
Yeah, it's a long time to be chilling at hole one's tee.
It is a lot of titles, obviously. And very cool to see Paige's first 2024 lead card appearance being last round and back-to-back out here to play. That's a great start.
Sponsored by Innova Champion Discs, champion of the 2023 Cascade Challenge and 2023 Jonesboro Open. Out of Rosebud, Arkansas. Let her hear it. Cat Mertsch!
Cat out here with another Black Widow looking outfit.
Right?
Here to sting the competition. Displayed as the hardest hole of the day. There were only 4 birdies. Very important to just stay in bounds.
Yeah, it's crazy that both courses start out with the most difficult hole on hole 1. Cat with a hot start yesterday, but then kind of slowing down. Paige Pierce with kind of the opposite story, heating up on the back 9. This is, I think, generally a more scoreable course. You feel the pressure to get the birdies on this one.
Yeah, less really tight tunnel shots. And more, if there is a tunnel, it's a little bit later in the fairway. Sofia just playing tree to tree.
She looks nervous but happy. I believe from Statmando here that Sofia has the highest PDGA number to make a lead card appearance to date, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, just started, I think, 3 years ago, just after COVID, transferring over from Ultimate Frisbee, finding herself in the disc golf world, and just now starting to get in the mix in the touring schedule.
Owen working the flex forehand here. Is she going to park it? That's really good. Cat caught a tree, but is lucky to stay in bounds. Not a lot of work left here, though. You want to land soft and flat. This elevated pin is perched on that hill.
Yeah, there's out of bounds that you can definitely find with a roll. Only 4 people got to circle 1 in regulation. Only 14 total got to at least circle 2.
Paige, really long look for birdie. She's not going to mess around with that one. Just lays up for par.
Kind of surprising. Paige is a very aggressive putter.
I mean,
like to see her picking her battles early here on moving day.
I think it is not a bad play. I mean,
of course, but just surprising.
It is surprising. Own running it, not surprising.
Cat going to come up short on her par putt. Very elevated up the hill and on the lighthouse. Sofia with some tree love and a par to start out on hole 1, the most difficult hole of the day. Besides Own, Maria Oliva, Stacy Ronsley, and Anniken Sten got the birdie 3s. Grabbing a birdie on hole 1 is flexing on the rest of the competition.
Yeah, and taking the solo lead. Pretty cool start. Hole 2, I think calls for a forehand. There's a mandatory early right that you're not really thinking about. There's this tree that you are thinking about quite a bit. You can go out and around to the left. There's more of a tight line for a flex forehand on the right. OB all the way on the left side that is very easy to find, especially if you throw a backhand that hyzers out too early. You can get there with a backhand for sure, but it's so technical.
Yeah, it's a forced turn that has to continue finishing right, but you don't want to go too high because that bunker comes into play only, 12 feet by the basket?
Sets up really well for Owen's game. Yeah, I forgot to mention the bunker. That really is so close.
Sofia opting for that backhand. She is lining up the out and around play. That's great.
Yeah, star J there. Beautiful line. Once again, looks like Sofia's about to just float away at any moment with happiness. Paige also going to work that left side with a turnover with her sole. Nice shot.
Kat also going to line up the sidearm. I really like this play, but you do have to have some really good hyzer angle on it and also get some ground play here at the end. Pretty typical to find yourself at the edge of circle 1. Kat and Owen both, though, finding their way inside the circle.
Everyone on the lead card pretty close here for their birdies.
What a gallery. The applause sounds like it's added from a studio audience.
Yeah, I can't wait for the laugh track. Nice. Pretty cool to see the inside forehand, outside forehand, and 2 backhands all get there for the birdie look on this. I don't want to call it an easy par3. It's still technical, but it's definitely one that you want to get. Star frame. 3 thumbs up.
Only a quarter of the field. Oh, actually, just kidding. Let's see. Less than a quarter of field. 21% of the field got a birdie on that one. So cool to see 4 out of the 10 birdies on the day out of 48 competitors on our lead card. Hole 3 is a very straightforward par 3. It's 285 feet, but it definitely plays longer than that uphill. And with all of these big, beautiful Oregon trees in the way, you can go dead straight as the drone is flying, or you can do a flex shot with a backhand around that last right tree, hyzering back into the green. It's really whatever gap you decide to hit.
Owen going a right side gap. That looked like a good line, but she catches a branch high and drops quickly.
Sofia not going too aggressive here. She's going to be in circle 2 for this par 3. Paige trying to shoot the gap here, and that is a very cool, very small gap, very far away. What, 15 feet? Mm-hmm. And it's right at the entrance to circle 2.
That was her ESP passion, and such a challenging gap to hit for sure. Kat overturning this one, gonna burn a little early, but still inside circle 2.
Owen with some work left to do to get to the green, but she does have a gap lined up, forehand chip to the green. Oh, she's taking the center gap, of course. Not the one that's...
What are you doing? You're trying to predict what Owen's gonna do?
I don't know. What am I thinking?
You've gotta sit back and watch that lady.
Kat, circle 2. Good angle, not quite enough to get there.
Sofia having to work the straddle out to the left.
Look how big that tree is, and that's how many of the trees are on the East Course. There are some huge Oregon trees out here. Owen gonna have to take her first bogey already on hole 3.
A surprising miss. Here's Paige for another birdie, 2 in a row. Phenomenal tee shot there with her passion.
Kat and Sofia going to take pars on hole 3 where there were only 9 birdies. Kind of surprised to see less birdies on hole 3 than on hole 2.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I get it. more trees on this one. I'm going to check in with the, I believe, Chase third card. Donnecke and Sten here on hole 6. There's a few different gaps she can take. She goes left side with kind of a pure hyzer line. From about 43 feet. Good for the jumper. I can 3 down with that one. Tie at the top again after that bogey from Own. Hole 4 is a par 3, 320 feet. Got a couple of trees in the way. I think a gentle flexing line is the way to go. You want to make sure you get past this one fat bottom tree right here to the left of the pin. There is a hazard bunker to the right that I guess could come into play if you really turn something over, but the OB is far enough where you're not really worried about the danger. This one is one if you don't have a good look for a birdie, you're not feeling great. This is not a typical line, but if you have the power, this pure hyzer, power hyzer is a really great play.
Paige making the camera guys turn around.
Little deep. Sofia lining up the more typical gap here to the left of this first tree. You want to get some turn on this disc. I would say most common mistake is kind of hyzering out for that tree. Sofia getting around it and staying inside the circle.
Yeah, gets a little kick off that guy that keeps the rockin' world go around.
Mm-hmm.
Cat gonna throw the hyzer route inside, really squeaking through that low ceiling, coming up with just a bit short with that angle.
Not a bad miss, though. I think she has an open look at it. And Own going to take this really flippy yellow destroyer. She's actually headed towards that hazard and finds it.
That's something you're not ever thinking about off the tee. It's like a whoopsie moment.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely find it, but I think it's generally surprising if you do. You're like, oh, oops, there's a bunker over there.
Forgot that was there.
Whoops.
This played as the second easiest hole of the day. 44% birdies. That's 21 out of 48 competitors.
Sofia for a birdie. Misses low right.
This is where you really start to feel the birdie pressure.
Yeah, I think the East course is more fun, more scoreable, but you for sure feel that pressure to score.
Especially early on, there's a lot of short par 3s and 4s that everyone in the field can reach. Taking a bogey on one of these holes feels pretty awful.
Especially to go bogey.
Yeah, Own thankfully had a little bit of a pad going into that, so she's back to even par, but you really do want to try to stack some up in the front.
Cat Mertsch, the only one on our lead card, able to get the birdie here.
With that bogey, Sofia going to slide into first place right now, being just 1 under par. Moving on to hole 5, this tee shot is so fun. A huge downhill shot. You want to get it as far as you can, ideally nestled up almost to these bunkers. If you do come up a little bit short of that, that's fine. Most players going to settle up on the right side of the fairway where those big trees are. Your third shot is going to be to the green here, where you're going to have a putt for birdie. It's going to be nice and easy, no problems at all.
Never any problems. Honestly, these ladies can get so far off the drive where it should be a pretty simple birdie.
That right side out of bounds can come into play. We see Kat screaming over there, but it's checking up just in the right amount of time, and that is a huge tee shot. The only other place you're really worried about out of bounds is on the green, coming up just a little short on your approach or maybe a teeny bit deep. There's a hill, and if you go over the top of it, you could find a roll away. But everyone doing so far a great job of working their way down this right side in the safe land.
Man, Paige almost pushing the bunkers with her ESP drive. Sofia going star TL3, putting some good turn on it. It is going to hyzer out earlier than her competitors on the card, but it is fine there. Birdie's still in play for sure. Oh.
Own going, matching the angle of the hill, which is a little bit more typical than these distance shots that we're seeing. Going straight down and finding herself in a great spot on the right-hand side. Set up for a very easy birdie from there. Her second shot likely just going to go right around these middle big trees.
That looks great.
Sure does. She's left with only about 200 feet to the basket, if that.
Yeah, I like being on the right side on that second shot. You can go left, but see what Sofia has to work with here. There's definitely OB closer on both sides going over here. Great shot. Sofia looking like she's dealing with any kind of nerves. She has very well. Looking professional out here.
Cat squeaking by one of the fairway trees, but making connection with one just after that. She's still in position to birdie. Paige is able to go across if she wants to here, but she chooses to just pitch up into the big trees, take the easy bird.
Yeah, I think that's smart. The ceiling there didn't really allow for an easy look at going across.
Cat, bullseye, birdie, no prob.
Smooth looking forehand chip shot there. Paige's third, little crystal fierce. Pretty dang parked.
Sofia low and linear, skipping her way up into the bullseye. This was the easiest hole of the day with 60% of the field taking a birdie. That's 29 competitors out of 48. If you're not birding this one, you're feeling a little like a chump.
Oh, and looking like she's trying to ring that one up. Let's see it again.
38 out of 48 competitors into circle one. Own trying to throw it in from circle three.
One of those ones where you really like this hole and you're a little nervous they're going to change it because it's too easy.
But I think it's still appropriately hard.
Yeah, me too.
This one used to give a lot of people in the field grief. This is new that everyone's so good.
We are looking at another star frame here. Second of the round and $50 donated towards Edge.
Sofia holding on to that one stroke lead right now, 2 under par. And everyone on our lead card managing to find their way into the negative.
Hole 6 is a par 3, 290 feet. A couple different options here. We are flying the center gap. You can get a backhand through here. You can get a little flex forehand. There's a gap on the left for more of a forehand hyzer. You can work, I don't know, more of a dramatic flexing shot if you really wanted. There is a hyzer line that we've seen in the past, but not very often.
Yeah, the tree on the right side has a much lower ceiling than we've seen in years past. It kind of blocks that hyzer line pretty good.
I like this shot. It doesn't always get you into the circle, but it'll at least get you into circle 2. And I just think it's the biggest gap. I have not seen anyone take this gap with a backhand yet.
Yeah, what a play.
Paige does catch one tree and kicks into circle 2. Sofia lining up the same large gap with a sidearm. You can see she has a lot of power on that sidearm, but definitely yanks that one and misses the gap, though makes it nearly pin high still. It wasn't that long ago that we were seeing people work the center gap pretty much exclusively, or the hyzer gap.
No, exclusively. It was definitely the main gap.
Everyone finding some more power, though, and more FPO able to throw the forehand to get all the way out and around.
From here, just an easy chip up.
Slash run.
Oh, yeah. Dead center band.
Great bid.
At least 30 competitors getting to circle 2 in regulation at minimum. Only 11 getting to circle 1.
Look good from Kat, but comes up low on that circle 2 birdie bid. Let's see if Paige can make good from a little bit closer. Still over 40 feet away. It's low.
Thank you.
Owen with the last chance at birdie here. She looks even farther than Paige, or at least the same. She's going to also miss kind of low right and a bit of a comebacker.
So I was talking to some spectators today, and nice comeback putt from Owen. Just to speak on everybody's mental and physical game right now. Some spectators walked the west course and clocked it, and it was 4.8 miles to just spectate the course, not walk, not zigzag back and forth on the course and throw your shots.
Wild.
So this is after 2 days at the west course and playing all your practice rounds Monday through Wednesday. Everyone's got to be feeling it just a little bit here and there.
I'm wondering how much walking the East course is now.
I think it's a little less, if I had to guess.
Less. Also, I don't know about for your card, but the pace of play seemed faster today.
Oh, did it? It was slow on my
Was
card.
it slow? Dang.
We caught the card in front of us a few times, but
All right,
yeah.
I take it back.
But it's a lot of walking out here. Everyone's a little beat. Hole 7, and another uphill par 4, 450 feet. It seems easy, but this uphill shot says otherwise. You got to go as far as you can, and that won't be very far. Your second shot will be blind to the green, also uphill, also farther than you want it to be. You can find the circle, though. It's just 2 big crushes. A lot of times you end up short and left behind those big guardian trees with some sort of weird straddle putt.
This is an interesting tee shot. Low ceiling, upward slope.
Very reminiscent to one of the West holes with this daunting Mando that only comes into play if you can crush.
Kat has not missed it yet, but it's going to be some awkward footing, it looks like, on the next shot.
You don't want to go too hyzer here and push left because the second shot gets impossible to access. Paige does a great job of just throwing it dead straight up the hill. Sofia with a nice hyzer line coming in before the Mando tree.
Oh,
Man,
so good.
her distance is so impressive.
Yeah, that was a Halo Destroyer.
Straight out of the gate, crushing.
And I think we're just going to see more and more of that as time goes on.
Especially with confidence building as well.
Also in a great spot. A little more of a typical landing zone for the majority of the field.
She says, I'm not worried about the Mando because I can't reach it. That's how most of us feel.
Yeah.
And hyzering in just at those 2 big trees, and that is perfect.
Yeah, she's just inside the circle for another birdie look. Cat. The rule about this has changed a few times, but the current rule is you have to line up in line with the basket, not the mandatory, and she's just forced to pitch out and around.
Paige in a great spot, wide open, just has to get her disc to hyzer just before those 2 big trees. She'll be just inside of where Owen landed. Kat's third, just trying to get up to the green. She probably still can't see the basket.
Doesn't need to see it.
She just asked the trees where it was.
They whispered back in a gentle breeze.
Whatever you need, Kat.
A hawk flew by. Told her where it was.
Sofia coming in hot. Still inside the circle.
Owen up first for the birdie here. No problem. Just going to move back to 2 under par. Sofia moves to bogey-free 3 down. Looking like she belongs out here on these lead cards.
Yeah, that's her second tester of the round, and she is good for it.
I think we're going to see her a bit more.
Sadly, we won't. This is the only stretch of tour we'll see her on this year. I know.
Well,
she's a Pacific Northwest girly. And just dropping in to say hello and show how good she is.
If she's this successful, maybe we'll see her more.
Yeah, maybe so. There were only 11 birdies today, and 3 of them on our lead card.
I'm going to start a petition. Get her on tour more. Sofia literally leading the tournament. Pretty crazy. Just dropping in, leading the tournament. Hole 8's a par 4 downhill, 680 feet mandatory on the right. Most of the time you see a backhand flex shot that curves out to the right towards that OB and then hyzers out to the left at the end. There is OB on the left as well that you can find if you hyzer out. This is the old pin position and the MPO pin position for a par 3. We are playing to that farther one in the back as a par 4. It's quite a bit more difficult than last year, but still very fair, I think. As long as you have an absolutely perfect tee shot, the second shot is not that bad, but look at how demanding this thing is.
Yeah, Paige definitely not trying to go that teeny gap, wanting to go straight with some right finish. It's really hard to commit to that shot, though, because those low-hanging branches will just drop you straight down, a little out of reach from the pin. And also, if you turn too much, there's an out-of-bounds line on the right, like Erika said. But man, it comes up so fast.
It really does. Both sides do, to be honest. It's a extremely demanding tee shot.
Stinks though, because you do have to bite off some distance in order to birdie this one.
That's a cool line. I saw that gap from a left-handed player, and it is very small.
Yeah, I watched Stacey Ronsley throw a forehand through that gap as well today. It definitely opens up the second shot.
Yeah, that left side's pretty good to attack from.
Kat with a more normal line. I like the low line. She gets a friendly tree kick as well, but she's still going to have some work to do to the basket. 680 downhill seems so doable, but it's crazy where these branches are, how it really stretches out this second shot. Paige, one of the farthest throwing competitors in the game, going pure hyzer to the bullseye.
Wow. Phenomenal.
Not everyone can do that, though.
Most people can't, actually, factually.
So impressive. Sofia going up the middle, that's what we see a lot of people trying, catching a tree, kicking, but thankfully not all the way to that out of bounds. It says there's 13 birdies on this hole. That's surprising to me.
I mean,
That's great.
yeah, if you have a good drive, this second shot's not
Hard, yeah.
that bad. But it's not that
it's
bad.
difficult to get a good drive.
It is.
But look, Owen had a great drive, and she still had that low-hanging branch in the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's really difficult to find the green unless you're on this right side. And to get to this right side, you have to play aggressive.
Yeah, Kat making quick work of that one. Pretty dang parked for another birdie.
She even had some tree love to get to that good landing zone.
Sofia with a little forehand chip shot left puts it close. Sofia, I think, doing a good job of kind of minimizing on the stress and the pressure. Not having to make a ton of huge putts or crazy shots.
Approach game looking very solid. Great birdie from Kat Mertsch. Paige, even though getting tangled up early, finding the bullseye on her second shot.
Yeah, that was a huge towering hyzer. Paige, with that birdie moving to 15 down, tying it up with Owen Scoggins, they are both one back of Sofia Donnecke.
So impressive to watch Sofia not only hold on to a clean round, but also sprinkle some birdies in there as well. Let's wrap up the front nine of moving day with this downhill 595-foot par 4.
Then it's uphill.
And then it's uphill. Oh, okay. I was lost for a second. The courses all look the same a little. This is a very challenging tee shot, not necessarily because of the shot shape, but the landing zone is just so infinitely small. The second shot is also uphill and really requires a huge distance shot if you would like a look for birdie. A lot of people just settling for par on hole 9. Paige trying to work that right side, and that is absolutely necessary in order to set up for the second shot. If you get behind these two big trees, it is impossible to get the distance to get up to the green.
Paige with good power gets caught up, but might have made it far enough to have a chance to attack from there.
You almost have to have something that turns a little right.
Ooh, like this?
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Man, Kat's control and distance right now is so impressive. The fact that she's past those trees is crazy.
That was her star turn, and it is crazy.
You can see where the catch cam is standing up there. That's a perfect landing zone, but most competitors not even able to get to those trees just short of him. Sofia really flexing on us right now.
Dang.
Yeah, she's like...
Look at her go.
She's like that classic Northwest lure, like a Bigfoot. It's like a beautiful mystery. Like, where did she come from? Does she actually exist?
And then she'll just go away and we won't see her again, maybe for a whole year.
Like, was she ever here?
I don't know.
She definitely got a trophy out of it. Paige working a flex forehand around those two guardian trees. That low-hanging branch comes into play more often than we would like it to.
Man, I really smacked her down there. It would take a huge shot for Owen to get inside the circle on this one. Man, she had the distance. Gets caught up on the tree and then the wooden fence there.
No out of bounds, just that bunker that's shorter of where Owen's shot landed. It's just a nice little scenic farm fence post on this golf course.
Sofia with a nice shot there, keeps it kind of out and to the right. It'll be a bit of a putt there left for a birdie look.
This is the fourth most difficult hole of the day. The fact that Kat has a look at it is wild.
A clean, wide open look. Crazy.
Oh my, and she's going to park it.
Yeah,
okay,
she is.
Cool. There was
is
only
cool. 2
birdies today. Kat's just going to have one of them. We don't have to guess.
Paige is third, just looking to put it close here. That's looking great.
And that's a lot more typical. Most people going to have some work left to do on their third, at least a little approach shot. Only 4 people got to circle 1 in regulation. Only 8 got to circle 2.
Owen with some awkward, fence footing. That was a great run. Sofia just inside the circle for a birdie. Comes up pretty low there.
Yeah, I can't blame her for not running at this one super hard. It goes downhill pretty steeply behind this basket. Paige is good for it, though. Besides Kat Mertsch, Holland Hanley, the only other birdie on this hole.
Great way to wrap up the back 9 from Kat Mertsch. She just has that one blemish on hole 1, which is understandable. It's the hardest hole. Score's pretty knotted up here at the top.
Sofia continuing her clean play, though. It's so important to just get pars when you're not getting birdies on these Glendoveer courses. Minimizing mistakes is almost as important as getting birdies.
I mean, she hasn't bogeyed in at least 27 holes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool. Paige Pierce with a hot round right now at 5 down through the round. She's 1 stroke back of Sofia Donnecke. Owen Scoggins also tied with Paige. Kat Mertsch sliding down to 4th.
Getting a ton of birdies, though, just with that blemish on hole 1. In order to be in the top 20, you got to be under par overall. And that's really tough to do after Glendoveer West. It's a lot more scoreable out here on Glendoveer East. We can see some hot rounds sprinkled throughout the top 20. Lucky Lorenzen at 5 down right now. Allie Smith at 3 down.
There's a line at 24 to make the cut. Total score needing to be just about even par, maybe 1 over for the moment. We'll have a smaller field tomorrow. 9 more holes left at our first round at Glendoveer East today. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.